Hi, Pearl. How are
Hello,
you?
Lauren again, and a long time no hear and a long time no broadcast from us. But it's such an important time that I feel necessary and compelled to make people aware of the opportunities that are available right now, and particularly, we've an eclipse coming up. It's always a very important time to look at what our possibilities are within that eclipse, and the fact that it's the second eclipse in this Leo Aquarius axis. As you know, I work with period astrology, so we'll be specifically focusing on those two signs: the sign of Leo, which is associated with the spotlight and where the spotlight is at the moment, and the sign of Aquarius, the radical reformers. And so, in the society we're in at the moment, we see that the sign of Leo and people that are in power are certainly in the spotlight, whether they're actors or politicians or judges or, the world at large. There's all this information being flooded at the moment about mistakes that people have made. And Ketu is a symbol for mistakes. It's also the symbol for the mysteries and the mystics. And so the sound of the word, even to do with mistake, that the mistake wakes us up. All these people who have done things that are against the laws of nature. And really, that's what an eclipse is about. We're all born under a certain amount of eclipse, and we're inclined to go against the laws of nature because we can. We have free will to do it if we like. But ultimately, we go too far in the chances and taking our chances, and we make the mistakes. And now, these mistakes are in the spotlight, and that's Ketu and Leo.
Ketu's in Leo.
Leo is the spotlight, and Ketu is currently transiting through there, and it's midway through. It's not even finished yet. There's another 6 months to go. Anybody who would have felt in the last 6 months even that something in their life has been totally taken from them, something that they were very proud of, or maybe expected a lot of respect for, because that's Leo. Wherever Leo is in our birth charts, we want to be respected for that particular area. And because Ketu's going through there right now, he's dissolving that. He's causing us to have to look at that and maybe being challenged about what we thought was our most best impression, our best foot forward, because that's Leo. He likes to shine. He likes to show off himself. I'm very good at this,
Be in the limelight.
The limelight, exactly. And, for myself, that's the second house. And so the second house can be to do with food. It can be to do with what I'm talking about. It can be to do with family, the culture, any of these areas. I could say in the last 6 months, I have been, and one of the reasons I've been silenced in the last 6 months, because all of that got questioned in my life, personally. So it's taken me a while to find the courage to come out and find a voice again, because...
Thank goodness you did. You're coming around.
Yeah, and again, talking about your own chart, that's your 8th house. And so, again, the whole thing of coming out and showing your abilities and your skills at being able to do the deep research and your knowledge, and that, that Ketu gives you that feeling, maybe I didn't do enough, or, somebody might have said to you, you've no right to do that, or, but somebody says, how high have you got, an authority on this particular area, and, 8th house can be to do anything to do with the secrets, yeah, so it's interesting. And then if we look at if you look at it from the point of view of the moon, that's looking at it from the physical environment and who in our environment is questioning, or did we make a mistake, or did we go over the top with what we were doing? But then if we take it from the moon, like that's taking it from the ascendant, but we take it from the moon, that's to do with our emotions. And where is the moon in relation to? So my moon is in the third from Leo, this Ketu. So Ketu is in the 11th from my moon. And so it means that there's something to do with community, or something to do with having the courage to write it or say it, or, that I'm being questioned about, or I'm questioning myself about. Maybe because it's such a deep subject anyway with the mystical, but it's, and the mistakes maybe that I would make in that area, And so your own moon is in Capricorn, and that's in your first house, so this is, again, it's because it's 8th from your first house and it's 8th from your moon, it adds to the depth of
that experience,
experience, that need to, because a lot of people don't want to look at the deeper aspect of things, and for somebody to have the courage to go there and to start to be seen for that area, it's difficult. It's a difficult area,
It is difficult territory.
Difficult territory, and it's to do with sexuality as well, of course, and all the secrets that would be attached to that. So, but this is Ketu right now, and this is what we're all experiencing. Basically, you need to know, like, people need to know what house they're talking about, and what circumstances in their life, and otherwise, or another very good way of looking at it is what relationship. Who are you having a problem with? Who is actually questioning you? Like if it's 11th, it could be a sibling, or it could be your neighbours, it could be your friends. So it depends on the house, And so if you look at the person, and again, when you look at the 8th house, that person isn't so obvious. It could be something from the past, something to do with partnership, or that's causing this, something resurrected from that you can't actually pinpoint. That could be causing the disturbance. So it's always good to look at who the relationship is, who's causing the relationship problem. Who's the person that you're having the biggest problem with, whether they're in this world or in any other world.
And like right now, I mean, when we look up, the lineup of where the planets are, like, it's intense at the moment. It feels,
very much. And because we'd say they're very important people in the world, as we would have put them into a position of importance and elected them or hired them, or because of their high knowledge, and for whatever reason they've got this place of status. But that place of status is in all of us. Anything that's going on in any individual out there is going on within us, because we're all one universal being. And that's something that we need to realise, that in terms of forgiveness, that we need to be able to forgive ourselves as well, and still go on and still rise and do what we think, to the best of our knowledge, is the right thing to do. And we can point a finger at all of these people that are now being, who's the next name on the list, and the fellas gloating, well, I'm not on the list, or whatever, or the fellas that possibly are hiding because they are. It's got to be resolved, because that's the nature of life. the demons are there and the gods are there, and the gods and the demons forever have been in this dance with each other, both necessary to keep the tension going so everything continues to happen. And the thing about the dance is on the other side of this Ketu axis is Aquarius, and Aquarius has Rahu, and Rahu is the one that's going to bring about the radical change. And Aquarius is such a busy sign right now. It's such a, it's got the sun, it's got Mercury, it's got Venus, and they're all in and around there, all the softer energies. And with the eclipse, this moon is going to be there as well. And so you've got all these softer energies saying, let's do something for humanity, let's do something for the greater good. And like Aquarius is the radical reformer anyway. And Rahu energy is one of the rulers of Aquarius. And so that's what the Rahu here could possibly do. I mean, he could, now he's a big Steele O'Brien character, that's another thing about him, but he could, and all this humanitarian efforts that are going on behind the scenes, quietly behind the scenes. I mean, mainstream media seem to be telling the story of, on the one hand, that everything's fine, but on the other hand, there's all this, well, I think a younger generation, they're bringing a new energy, they're bringing a revival of what it is, what's important, what products are important. One of the things I find fascinating at the moment is the concept of the Tartarian, the society that was so advanced with their technology that built all these extraordinary monuments and temples around the world at the same time, and that there was technology that we're not next or near coming to at this time. And so people are becoming aware of this possibility that there's frequency, there's ways of working with vibration and with that we can heal ourselves, that these places that were built, these temples and places that were built, and even I would say the Round Towers in Ireland, were probably ways of attracting this energy to give the healing that people needed. There were healing centres. There weren't churches or places ruled by a particular denomination, but there were places where people could go to actually be healed. Okay. And so all this knowledge is being made available to us. And while, Rahu would be responsible for Aquarius is the air element, and all these ideas and possibilities, and all these young people with enough knowledge and enough wisdom that they know they need to do something different. That's what's been asked for. Even the people that they were asked to respect, they're showing themselves up to being very capable of making terrible mistakes. And so they have to reinvent the wheel for themselves, really, And so there's a lot of really progressive young people out there at the moment, I think, willing to take up this and challenge and question. And I really do think that this Rahu energy could be very beneficial for the future, for the people that it's helping. So again, understanding the house it's in for us, again, that's where our what circumstances in our lives is it activating, And again, it could be a physical ailment, it could be a mental, it can be emotional, it can be spiritual. These are qualities that we all have individually, and depending on what's going on for us, and what house it is. Aquarius is always a place of challenge because it's ruled by the Saturn Rahu anyway. So the two most difficult energies to deal with are fear and our greed. These are the two worst expressions of Saturn and Rahu. But Saturn again is discipline, and Rahu is more inclined to be the reformer. He's bringing us new ideas, and we're going to get loads of new ideas with him being in Aquarius because he's at home. Yeah. So I think it's a very exciting time for anybody who's who's willing to challenge themselves and to accept our mistakes, accept where Ketu is and the Leo and the things we thought we were good at, and to accept, that we're all only human, and the humanness has us here to offload the karma or to get rid of, things that aren't beneficial to us, because we've come in with something, we're carrying something against the laws of nature, as I said at the outset. And Mars moves into Aquarius then in I think it's the 20th of, sorry, no, I'll just get the date. The eclipse is on the 17th, and Mars moves to Aquarius on the 23rd.
Okay.
And it's Mercury is in Aquarius right now. Venus is in Aquarius. As I said, the moon is going to be there. The sun also. So it's all very much intensely looking at, I think, the possibilities that are opening up for us.